Visibility. Because starting means being seen, and being seen means being judged, criticized, or even rejected. If you don't launch the business, no one can tell you it's not good enough. If you don't post the content, no one can leave mean comments on it. If you don't apply for the job, you don't have to face rejection. Procrastination keeps you safe by keeping you small. Welcome to What If It All Goes Right, the show for high achievers who are ready to stop fearing the worst and start stepping into their power. I'm your host, Angela Gargano, 6-time American Ninja Warrior, keynote speaker, peak performance coach, and former biochemist. Every episode, I'm going to give you the mindset shifts and practical tools to shake off the doubt, reignite your energy, and remember just how powerful you really are. Because it's time to stop fearing the worst and start asking, what if it all goes right? What if it's already going right? Welcome back to What If It All Goes Right? I'm your host, Angela Gargano. This is my doggie Pepper. I'm currently sitting in her dog bed because she wanted the other side of the seat. But today I want to talk about the thing that you have been avoiding. You know what I'm talking about? That project that matters the most. The conversation that you keep putting off. The goal that keeps calling to you, but you keep pushing it off. And today we're going to figure out why. Because procrastination, it's not about discipline. What it's actually about is protection. You see, your brain is protecting you from something. And until you understand what that is, you're going to stay stuck. And you're going to be in that cycle of starting and stopping and never quite finishing what matters most. In today's episode, I'm walking you through what procrastination actually is protecting you from. How to identify your specific protection pattern and what to do about it so you can finally move forward. But before we dive in, if this show has been helping you, make sure that you are following on Apple or Spotify so you never miss an episode. And if you could just take like 60 seconds to leave a rating or review, it really does help this show reach more women who need to hear this. So real quick, please leave a review. Pepper says please. All right, let's get into it. What your procrastination really is all about. So let's talk about that thing you keep avoiding. And let me ask you, what's the one thing you keep saying you're going to do, but you never actually start it? You're like hesitating to take the first step on it. Maybe it's launching that business. Maybe it's writing the book. Maybe it's having those hard conversations or posting that piece of content or applying for the job. Maybe starting that workout program. And you tell yourself you'll do it next week, next month, when you have more time, when you feel ready, when conditions are perfect. But the time never actually comes. That readiness never arrives. And the thing you keep avoiding, it stays on your list, haunting you, making you feel like you're failing. It's always in the back of your brain. And here's what I want you to understand. That avoidance isn't random. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you don't care. It's because on some level, conscious or not, starting that thing means facing something uncomfortable. And your brain is just protecting yourself from it. So I'm sitting in this dog bed. So funny. Look at my dog's toy right here. So what is procrastination really protecting you from? Because once you name it, you can pretty much work with it. So here are 6 common things procrastination is actually protecting you from. And I want you to, as I'm going through this, maybe some of this resonates with you. Maybe some of it's going to be like, oh yeah. Maybe some of it doesn't resonate so much. But let's talk about the first one, which is visibility. Because starting means being seen. And being seen means being judged, criticized, or even rejected. If you don't launch the business, no one can tell you it's not good enough. If you don't post the content, no one can leave mean comments on it. If you don't apply for the job, you don't have to face rejection. Procrastination keeps you safe by keeping you small. Number 2, success. I know people always don't think this is one, but it is. This one sounds super counterintuitive, but hear me out. Success is scary, okay? If you succeed, your life is going to change. Your relationships might shift. People might expect more from you. And you'll have new responsibilities. You're going to have to then maintain that success. Sometimes staying where you are feels safer than stepping into the unknown of what success could really require. Number 3 is failure. This obviously is more obvious because if you never start, then you're never going to fail. If you never try, you can keep the fantasy alive that you could do it if you wanted to. But the moment you start and it doesn't work out, that's proof. And proof feels permanent. Whereas procrastination protects you from finding out that you're not capable. Number 4 is change. Starting a thing means your identity will shift. You'll become someone new. The version of you that starts is different from the version of you that stays comfortable. And change, even when it's good change, is uncomfortable. Procrastination is going to keep you in the identity that you actually know right now, even if it's not the one that you want to be in. Number 5, responsibility. Once you start, you're responsible for following through. You're accountable. People might depend on you. You can't take it back. Procrastination protects you from the weight of commitment. Number 6 is disappointment. What if you start this and it's not as fulfilling as you hoped? What if you worked hard and the outcome doesn't match the fantasy? Sometimes we avoid starting because we'd rather keep the dream alive than risk being disappointed by reality, being disappointed by what we thought it was going to be. So, how do you identify your protection pattern? Like now we know what procrastination protects you from, right? So the question is, which one is yours? And here's how to figure it out. Step 1, you're going to name the thing that you've been avoiding. Let's be real here, we all have one thing. And be really specific. Don't say, I need to get my life together. Say, I need to start posting content for my business. Or I need to have the conversation with my partner about our relationship. For me, the one I've been procrastinating was figuring out the speaking outreach that I have to do via email. I kept asking myself, it's not that hard to do. Why am I not doing it? And step 2, ask yourself, what happens if I start this today? Not what do I need to do to get ready? Not what's the first step? What happens if you start right now, today? What happens? Ask yourself, truly, what happens? And step 3 is to notice what comes up. Do you feel anxious? Do you feel scared? Are you overwhelmed and not really know what to do? Are you feeling exposed? And write down the first thought that comes to your mind. That thought is going to be your clue as to why you've truly been procrastinating. So some examples of this, so just kind of keep this in mind. People will think that I'm not qualified, meaning you're protecting yourself from visibility and judgment. Maybe it's, what if I can't handle the success? You're protecting yourself from success and change. What if it doesn't work? You're protecting yourself from failure. I don't know if I'm ready for that level of commitment. You're protecting yourself from responsibility. I'm curious as to which ones resonate with you. Step 4 is naming it out loud. So say it. I'm procrastinating because I'm protecting myself from. And once you name it, it loses some power. I like to say in my keynotes, name it to tame it. You gotta name it. Say it out loud. Make it real. Start questioning it. And you may be wondering what changes when you name it. Because the moment you name what you're protecting yourself from, procrastination stops being a character flaw and it starts being information. Information showing that it's not that you're lazy. You're just scared of visibility. You're not undisciplined. You're just afraid of failure. You're not lacking motivation. You're just avoiding responsibility. And when you can see it clearly, you then can address it. If you're protecting yourself from visibility, remind yourself that being seen is how you make impact. Staying small doesn't protect you. It just keeps you invisible. And start small. Post one thing. Have one conversation. Practice being visible in low-stake ways. You don't have to do a whole overhaul right away with these things. And I think we think that all the time with goals we have, which is why we procrastinate. You just need to start with like the smallest little thing for it. If you're protecting yourself from success, ask yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen if I succeed? And write it down. Then ask, can I handle this? Spoiler alert, you probably can. Success isn't the end of the story. It's just the next chapter. And if you're protecting yourself from failure, reframe failure as data. Every failure teaches you something. Every attempt gets you closer. You're not protecting yourself from failure. You're protecting yourself from growth. The most successful people in the world, they are failing quick and fast. They're learning quick and fast. That's why they're getting there. They'll probably fail just as many times as you, but they're just doing it faster. And if you're protecting yourself from change, remind yourself, staying the same is also a choice. And it's costing you. The discomfort of change is temporary. Temporary. The regret of staying stuck is permanent. If you're protecting yourself from responsibility, ask yourself, what if responsibility is actually freedom? The more you take ownership and the more control that you have. Avoiding responsibility doesn't make it go away. It just gives you the power to someone else. If you're protecting yourself from disappointment, ask yourself, what if the process is the point, not the outcome? How can you detach yourself from the outcome? You can't control whether it's everything you dreamed of, but you can control whether you show up. And showing up is always worth it. It truly is. Are you getting chills from this? Are you like, oh my goodness, I'm so procrastinating this? Because I have so many clients that I talk to and I ask them what's holding them back. And a lot of them is so many things that we're going over in here. And just having that awareness around it is key. But how do we break the cycle? Like, what tools can I give you today? You know what you're protecting yourself from. Here's how to actually move forward. First tool, it's called the 2-minute start. You don't have to finish. You don't even have to make progress. Just start for 2 minutes. Open up the document, draft the email, put on your workout clothes. That's it. Just end there. Just starting breaks the cycle and breaks the spell. And once you're in motion, it's easier to keep going. You ever hear people will say, just go to the gym and just warm up. You don't have to do anything else after. Typically after the warm up, you keep staying. Tool 2, the what am I avoiding audit. Every time you catch yourself procrastinating, pause and ask, what am I avoiding right now? Name it, write it down, then ask, is this thought true? Is that fear helping me or holding me back? Most of the time, the fear isn't as big as it feels. For me, it was sending out the speaking cold email. Let me tell you, I could speak on stage in front of thousands of people. I couldn't send out one cold email. I asked myself, why? What am I scared of? Oh, I was scared of rejection. I was scared of sounding stupid. After that, I was like, oh, that's what I'm scared of? I just should send the email anyway. Tool 3, make it smaller. Procrastination often happens because the task feels super big, right? You don't want to go from 0 to 100. So make it smaller. Go from 0 to 10%. Don't write the book, write 1 paragraph. Don't launch the business, create 1 offer. Don't have the whole conversation, just send 1 text. Small action is going to be what helps you build momentum. And momentum breaks procrastination. And tool 4, set a deadline with accountability. Procrastination thrives in vagueness. So if you're just like, someday I'll do it, or I'm trying to do it, it really becomes never. So set a date. Tell someone, make it real. I'm going to post 1 piece of content by Friday. I'm telling you, so I can't back out. Accountability makes it harder to protect yourself. And tool number 5, reframe protection as prison. Your procrastination is protecting you, yes, but it's also keeping you stuck. Ask yourself, is this protection serving me, or is it a prison? Most of the time, the protection costs more than the risk. Just go for it. Just do the thing. What are you waiting for? Let's go. Take the risks. Try it out. What if it all goes right, you know? So here's the bottom line of this, right? If you've been procrastinating on something that matters, stop telling yourself that you're lazy or you're undisciplined. You're not. You're protecting yourself from something. And now it's time to name it. Is it visibility, success, failure, change, responsibility, disappointment? Once you know what it is, you can work with it. You can reframe it. You can take 1 small step forward. Because here's the truth. The thing you're avoiding isn't going to get easier. It's not. The fear isn't going to disappear. The most successful people have fear. But the more you practice starting anyway, the less power protection has over you. Procrastination isn't a character flaw. It's information. And now that you have the information, you can choose differently. So here's your challenge. Name the thing that you've been avoiding. Name what it's protecting you from. And then take 1 2-minute action today. Just 1. And if this episode helped you see your procrastination differently, you're welcome. Make sure you're following the podcast on Apple or Spotify. Make sure you're following on Apple or Spotify and share this episode with a friend who's been stuck. Because when you stop letting fear protect you from growth and you start trusting yourself to handle what comes, what if it all goes right? What if it all goes right? I'll see you next time.